The enemy thought he had me, but Jesus said you were mine. We're gonna play the video again. This is the third time that we're coming live today, you guys. That's why I'm thinking the enemy thought he had me, but Jesus said you were mine. We're gonna watch that video and we're gonna talk about the outfit. Let's do this. We're gonna do it.
The biggest mistakes women make is make their lives about get a guy, get a house, get married, and have kids. Because once you make your life that narrow, you have to compromise and compromise and compromise until all of a sudden you have no options. You have nowhere to go. You can't move. You can't shift. You can't go to the side. You don't have any independence and any power. Independence is not a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing. And you ought to have a bigger life, a life that involves passions and interests and opportunities and things that excite you that are unrelated to whether or not you got this guy or not. There's a couple of things for you. Number one, it gives you leverage in a relationship, because you're not defined solely by that relationship. It is a big part of you. It is a good part of you, but you can survive without it. And I think people who believe there was someone who have no other options end up doing whatever they want to do. And it's not because they're bad people, but that's human nature. She can't go nowhere, so I can do what I want. It's not thought logically, but it ends up being that way. He can keep demanding. He can keep demanding, and what happens is, first of all, it's about the cooking isn't good, and then you bought Hunt's ketchup instead of Heinz ketchup, and then it's about the crackers, because you don't have any other options. He's in charge, and there is a right, and there is a wrong, and there's no breath, there's no opinion, there's no room for opinion. Here's what I would.
Okay, so I posted this video, and a lot of people, well, not a lot, some people were offended because I say women should be independent, right? Independence is not a Western feminist idea. It is individual right. Unless you want to be God. That's why you get offended. Because nobody should be dependent on anybody unless they are kids. If you have to breastfeed your kids, yeah, they're dependent on you. But grown-ups shouldn't be dependent on anybody. So today, we are talking about how to be alone, how to gain your strengths, what are the benefits of being alone, and this doesn't mean avoid getting married. This means heal first. Okay, so later on, we're going to watch a video from Dr. Joe Dispenza. It is a quantum physics. I don't know if some Christians are going to agree with that, but it helped me even understand God and the Bible. So I think it's going to help you as well. That's why I'm here. I'm going to eat lunch while we're listening. So today is a party, listening party. And I'm going to tell you about my outfit. Okay. So the pants, my aunt gave them to me as a gift. I don't know where she got them from. I love them. Okay. I didn't really check the brand. This is the mesh top. It is long sleeve. I've had it for a long time. I don't know where I got it from. This is a corduroy hunter green jacket. I don't know where I got it from. I got it a long time ago. So my old clothes still fit me because I'm losing weight right now. The maximum I gained was like 3 years ago, maybe like 20 pounds. I was 100 and then I was 120. And now I am 5 pounds less. So I'm almost the same as how I was like 10 years ago, size-wise. All right. Okay. Okay, and shoes. The shoes are Minnetonka. You guys seen them before. I'm going to open up your comments in a little bit. But there we go. And then we're gonna see the lunch where we add it. Here's the lunch. I cooked it yesterday. It's goat meat. So we're not gonna cook anything today. But we're gonna do some retan. Yeah, I covered the alarm, you guys. There y'all go. See? This is gonna be lunch. I have some injera in here. It has a little bit of the white stuff here. See the spoil? This is all I have. I don't mind eating that unless it is the green one. Is that weird, you guys? Is that weird? Unless it is the green spoil. You know what I'm talking about, right? I don't mind this white ones. Someone told me they're good bacteria. And then we have plum. Me and my neighbor's sister, we didn't steal it. We don't steal. I was gonna say we stole it, but it was, so whenever we walk, we find plums, oranges, lemons, okay, and we walk every day in the evening. So these are what we got yesterday. And I am going to eat, but I want to pray in front of you. And then I have to do the dishes. So while we're listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza together, I'm going to do the dishes, okay? And then you guys, if you're sitting down, you have a lot of dishes, get up. You can just listen to it. I'm going to let the camera on. But it's a listen party today. I gotta wash the dishes because I do have I have a meeting at like 5:30 and I have to get ready. So I have to do the dishes. Otherwise, it's gonna be 5:30. I'm gonna be in a meeting. It's gonna be 6, and then my evening walk. So I have a schedule, right? It's gonna mess up my schedule. I do have evening walk, and then after I come back from my walk, I watch a movie, or if I'm reading the Bible, I listen to Bible, just do a small cleanup, okay? But today I don't feel like cleaning up. I'm just gonna watch a movie, okay? And then by 9:30, by 8:30, my phone is off, okay? My phone turns black and white at 8:30. That means I gotta get up, take a shower, and then pray, maybe read a little bit of Bible, and then just go to bed by 9:30. And by 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the morning, I wake up, just in case it helps you, my loves. Okay, let me open up your comments. And then, hi, Pita. Yuck, I hate the green. Which green? Oh, yeah, the injera? Exactly. Me too, huh? Me too. Hey, Anna. Hey, my love. So this video is going to be helpful for both men and women, okay? So this independence thing, the one that I show you from Judge Lynn Toler, I love her. It's not about just women. It's about men as well, independence. Okay, listen to it again.
The biggest mistakes women make is make their lives about get a guy, get a house, get married, and have kids. Because once you make your life that narrow, you have to compromise and compromise and compromise until all of a sudden you have no options. You have nowhere to go. You can't move. You can't shift. You can't go to the side. You don't have any independence and any power. Independence is not a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing. And you ought to have a bigger life, a life that involves passions and interests and opportunities and things that excite you that are unrelated to whether or not you got this guy or not. Does a couple of things for you. Number one, it gives you leverage in a relationship, because you're not defined solely by that relationship. It is a big part of you. It is a good part of you, but you can survive without it. And I think people who believe they're with someone who have no other options end up doing whatever they want to do. And it's not because they're bad people, but that's human nature. She can't go nowhere, so I can do what I want. It's not thought logically, but it ends up being that way. He can keep demanding. He can keep demanding, and what happens is, first of all, it's about the cooking isn't good, and then you bought Hunt's ketchup instead of Heinz ketchup, and then it's about the crackers, because you don't have any other options. He's in charge, and there is a right and there is a wrong, and there's no breath, there's no opinion, there's no room for opinion. Here's what I would.
Okay. So that's the video. I am going to pray and then eat my lunch. We're going to discuss about it later on, okay? Including the Joe Dispenza video that I recorded. Okay. Okay, this is the only injera that I have, so I can't really... There you go. Here's lunch. In Jesus' name, amen. May this food be medicine to my body. Amen. May God bless you all for coming and watching me, my family. I love you so much. I hope I'm adding value to your life. Every time I come, I try to make it on time. But sometimes, see, today was technical difficulty, but I made it, right? God bless you. I hope I'm motivating you to cook and eat fresh. God bless the farmers, the grocery store owners, the cashiers, the doctors, the engineers, everybody that participated in making this food possible. God bless their generation. God bless your generation. May God give you faith, hope, and love. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. God bless my head. Even with, I tried it yesterday. I had it yesterday. It was bomb.com. I posted the recipe, you guys. I did. Okay, that's why I'm not showing you how I make. I think I posted a recipe on lamb. Same thing. And because I haven't eaten anything today since the morning, not even flaxseed. So, you know, whenever you're hungry, whatever you eat, so tasty, so yummy. Oh, okay. Let's go to the video.
You know what I find fascinating? Studies show that in major cities across the world, over 50% of households are now single-person dwellings. That's not just a number, it's a revolution in human consciousness. And there's a brilliant reason behind this shift that most people haven't realized yet. When I work with people in my advanced workshops, I see something remarkable. The ones who've mastered being alone aren't just surviving, they're literally transforming their biology. Their brain scans show increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for higher thinking and emotional regulation. Let me share something personal with you. I remember the moment everything changed for me. I was sitting in my study, surrounded by research papers about neuroplasticity when it hit. We've been programmed, literally programmed, to believe we need relationships to be complete. But here's the kicker. Your brain doesn't know the difference between the emotions you create internally and those triggered by external relationships. You can produce the same feel-good chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all by yourself. Think about this. Every time you reach for a relationship to feel whole, you're reinforcing neural pathways of dependency. You're telling your body, I need something outside of myself to feel good. But what if I told you that the most powerful relationship you'll ever have is with your own consciousness? Here's what's happening in your brain when you're in a relationship. You're constantly adjusting your behavior, thoughts, and emotions to maintain homeostasis with another person. Your brain is splitting its resources, dividing its attention. But when you're alone, something extraordinary happens. Your neural networks start firing in perfect synchronicity. You become what I call energetically coherent. The latest research in neuroscience shows that people who master solitude have stronger neural integration. Their right and left hemispheres communicate more effectively. They show increased gray matter in regions associated with self-awareness and emotional regulation. This isn't just psychology, it's biology. Leadership, something that might shock you. Relationships, as most people experience them, are actually keeping them addicted to their past self. They're using others as emotional crutches, as external sources of serotonin and dopamine, when they could be producing these chemicals naturally, abundantly, through their own mastery of self. What I'm about to share with you over the next hour will challenge everything you've been taught about relationships and happiness. I'm going to show you step by step how living alone isn't just an alternative lifestyle. It's potentially the most advanced way of existing as a human being. We're going to look at the science, the biology, and most importantly, the practical steps to transform your solitude into a superpower. The question isn't whether you can live alone. It's whether you're ready to experience the most profound relationship possible, the one with your own evolving consciousness. Are you prepared to break free from emotional dependency and step into true biological and energetic independence? Let me share something remarkable about your brain. Every time you choose to be alone, you're not just spending time by yourself. You're literally rewiring your neural circuitry. This isn't theoretical. This is hard science happening in real time inside your skull. When you're constantly in relationships, your brain operates in what we call a reactive mode. You're always responding to someone else's energy, someone else's emotions, someone else's needs. But in solitude, something extraordinary happens. Your brain shifts into what neuroscientists call introspective neural processing. The default mode network, that's the network in your brain responsible for self-reflection and internal awareness, becomes incredibly active. Let me explain this in practical terms. Your brain has roughly 100 billion neurons, capable of making up to 10,000 connections each. When you're alone, these neurons start forming new connections based purely on your internal state, it's like having a clear radio signal instead of static interference. Here's what's fascinating about stress reduction in solo living. Studies of cortisol levels. That's your stress hormone show something incredible. People who've mastered living alone have up to 50 lower baseline cortisol levels compared to those in relationships. Why? Because they're not constantly managing the emotional weather of another person. Their nervous system isn't perpetually in fight or flight mode from relationship dynamics. Think about your morning routine when you're alone. There's no negotiation, no compromise, no emotional adjustment needed. Your brain can focus all its resources on regulatory functions and creative thinking. This isn't selfish. It's optimal neural functioning. Your autonomic nervous system shifts from sympathetic stress response to parasympathetic rest and digest more easily. Now, let's talk about decision making. When you're alone, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, doesn't have to factor in another person's preferences, emotions, or potential reactions. This creates what neuroscientists call clean decision pathways. Your choices become faster, clearer, and more aligned with your true desires. You're not splitting your cognitive resources between your needs and someone else's. I've seen brain scans of people before and after periods of intentional solitude. The difference is stunning. The neural density in areas associated with emotional regulation and executive function actually increases. You're not just feeling more decisive, you're physically building a more capable brain. Here's something most people don't realize about building new neural networks. It's every time you navigate a challenge alone, you're strengthening what we call self-efficacy circuits. These are neural pathways that reinforce your ability to handle life independently. It's like building emotional muscles. Each solo experience, each problem solved alone, creates stronger neural connections for future challenges. The biology of self-sufficiency is particularly fascinating. Your brain actually produces more brain-derived neurotrophic factor, ADENF. Think of it as fertilizer for your neurons when you're regularly engaging in independent problem solving. This means your brain becomes more adaptable, more resilient, more capable of handling whatever life throws at you. You're also training your brain to maintain emotional equilibrium without external support. This isn't about being an island. It's about being your own emotional ecosystem. Your hypothalamus learns to regulate your mood without depending on another person's presence or approval. You become what I call emotionally self-generating. Let me share a profound truth. Every time you choose solitude over dependency, you're not just making a lifestyle choice. You're engaging in active neuroplasticity. You're literally sculpting a more evolved brain. Your neurons are firing in new patterns, creating pathways that support independence rather than code. And here's what's really exciting, is saying this neural reorganization becomes self-reinforcing. The more you develop these independent neural networks, the more natural and rewarding solitude becomes. Your brain starts to crave the clarity and coherence of being alone rather than the neurochemical roller coaster of relationship. Think about this. In relationship-dependent people, the brain's reward centers are constantly seeking external validation. But in self-sufficient individuals, these same reward centers light up in response to personal achievements, quiet moments of reflection, and self-generated states of joy. You become your own source of positive neurochemistry. This isn't just about being alone. It's about creating the most advanced, most capable version of your brain possible. It's about optimizing your neural architecture for maximum personal growth and evolution. When you understand this science, being alone isn't just a choice. It's a sophisticated strategy for accelerated neural development. Let's talk about something that's been programmed into your brain since before you could even speak. Society has installed a powerful operating system in your mind, one that says you need another person to be complete. It's time to understand this programming and break free from it. From the moment you're born, you're bombarded with messages. Find your other half, you need someone to complete you. Being alone means being lonely. These aren't just ideas, they're neural pathways that have been carved into your brain through years of repetition. Every romantic movie, every fairy tale, every wedding celebration has reinforced these pathways. But here's what nobody tells you about the energy cost of relationships. Your brain processes about 400 billion bits of information every second, but you're only conscious of about 2,000 of those bits. When you're in a relationship, a massive portion of that processing power goes to managing another person's emotions, anticipating their needs, and maintaining harmony. That's energy that could be directed toward your own evolution. Think about your last relationship. How much time did you spend thinking about what they were thinking? How much energy did you invest in managing their emotional state? The average person in a relationship spends up to 70 of their mental energy focused on relationship-related thoughts and emotions. That's 70 of your creative potential, your manifestation energy, tied up in maintaining a connection that society told you. Society has created what I call a relationship addiction loop. It works just like any other addiction. When you're in a relationship, your brain releases oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin, the feel-good chemicals. When you're alone, your brain creates withdrawal symptoms, making you feel like you need another person to feel normal. But here's the truth. These chemicals are already inside you. You don't need an external trigger to produce them. Breaking free from emotional dependencies isn't just about being physically alone. It's about rewiring your brain's emotional reward system. Every time you resist the urge to seek validation from another person, you're weakening those old neural pathways and building new ones. You're literally rewriting your brain's operating system. Here's something profound about reprogramming your subconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between a real relationship and one you've created in your meditation. When you sit in silence and generate feelings of love, joy, and completion on your own, your brain produces the same chemicals it would in a relationship. But here's the key difference. You're in control of the production. You're no longer dependent on someone else's behavior to feel good. The most powerful way to break this programming is to become aware of it in real time. When you feel that pull toward a relationship, pause and ask yourself, is this my authentic desire or is this my programming? Every time you choose yourself over social expectations, you're strengthening your neural pathways of independence. Your subconscious mind has been running programs about relationships for years. But here's what's amazing about your brain. It's always ready to learn new patterns. Every morning when you wake up alone and choose to feel complete, you're installing new software. Every night when you go to bed peaceful in your solitude, you're reinforcing these new patterns. Remember this, social programming isn't your destiny. It's just your starting point. You have the power to rewrite every belief, every pattern, every program that says you need someone else to be whole. This isn't about rejecting connection. It's about choosing conscious independence over unconscious. Your brain is waiting for new instructions. Are you ready to give them? Let's talk about something extraordinary happening in the quantum field around you right now. Every thought, every emotion you generate creates an electromagnetic signature that extends about 3 to 5 feet beyond your body. When you're truly connected to yourself, this field becomes incredibly coherent, incredibly powerful. You see, quantum field theory shows us something remarkable. Your thoughts and emotions aren't just abstract concepts. They're actual energy patterns that interact with the fundamental fabric of the universe. When you're alone, focused, and centered, your personal energy field isn't entangling with anyone else's. It's pure, undiluted you. Let me share something profound about meditation and solitude. When you sit alone in meditation, you're not just relaxing, you're literally tuning into your own quantum field. Your brain waves begin to synchronize. The electrical activity in your heart becomes more coherent. You start producing what scientists call organized energy patterns. This is where the magic happens. Most people never experience the full power of their own energy field because they're constantly merging it with others. Think about it. In relationships, your field is always blending, always compromising. But in solitude, particularly during deep meditation, you can generate an energy field so powerful it can actually be measured by magnetometers several feet away from your body. Here's what's fascinating about creating your own emotional signature. Every emotion has a specific frequency, a specific vibration. Love vibrates at about 528 HA. Joy has its own frequency. When you're alone, centered, you can learn to generate these frequencies at will. You're not receiving them from someone else. You're creating them yourself. I've seen this in advanced meditators in our workshops. Their EG readings show something remarkable. When they focus on self-generated love, their brain waves become more coherent than when they're thinking about receiving love from someone else. The frequency is cleaner, more stable, more powerful. Let's talk about internal coherence. Your body has multiple rhythm-generating systems, your heart, your brain, your digestive system. When you're constantly adjusting to another person's presence, these systems often fall out of sync. But in solitude, especially during focused meditation, these systems can synchronize perfectly. This is what we call psychophysiological coherence. Think about your heart for a moment. It generates the largest electromagnetic field in your body, about 100 times stronger than your brain's field. When you're truly connected to yourself, this field becomes incredibly organized. The heart rate variability patterns become smooth, ordered. This isn't just poetic, it's measurable science. The science of self-love is particularly fascinating. When you generate feelings of self-love, your body produces nitric oxide, which dilates your blood vessels. Your vagus nerve activation increases, reducing inflammation. Your immune system becomes more efficient. You're literally creating a biology of self-healing through self-connection. Here's something most people don't realize. Your cells have receptors for emotions. When you're consistently generating positive emotions from within rather than seeking them from relationships, these receptors become more sensitive, more responsive. You need less external stimulus to feel good because your cells are tuned to your own positive emotional broadcast. In our advanced workshops, we use heart rate variability monitors to show people something amazing. When they switch from thinking about receiving love to generating love, their coherence scores often double or triple. The body literally functions better when you're your own source of positive emotions. Your brain has some called mirror neurons. They fire both when you experience something and when you observe others experiencing something. Here's the key. These neurons don't know the difference between external love and self-generated love. When you practice self-love in deep meditation, these neurons fire just as strongly as they would in a loving relationship. Every time you choose to sit in silence, to connect with yourself, you're strengthening what I call your energetic sovereignty. You're building a field of coherent energy that becomes your natural state. This isn't isolation, it's elevation. You're not separating from others, you're connecting to the most powerful source of love and energy available. Your quantum field doesn't distinguish between love from another person and love you generate yourself. Energy is energy. By mastering self-connection, you're not just becoming independent, you're becoming energetically self-sufficient. You're creating a coherent, powerful field that attracts possibilities rather than needing relationships. This is the new human, energetically sovereign, internally coherent, and capable of generating all the emotional frequencies needed for an extraordinary life. Are you ready to become your own source of love, joy, and coherence? Your ability to create reality, to manifest your desires, operates at its peak when you're coming from a place of completeness, not need. This is where living alone becomes a superpower. When you're not splitting your creative energy between your desires and someone else's, something extraordinary happens in the quantum field. Think about the observer effect in quantum physics. It tells us that particles behave differently when they're being observed. Your thoughts, your intentions, work the same way. When you're alone, fully present with your creative power, you become the sole observer of your reality. There's no competing observation, no other consciousness diluting your creative force. Let me tell you what happens in the brain when you're manifesting from complete solitude. Your pineal gland, what mystics call the third eye, begins operating at its optimal frequency. You're not processing someone else's energy, someone else's dreams. Every ounce of your creative force is aligned with your intentions. Most people don't realize how relationships often create quantum entanglement that blocks manifestation. When you're emotionally entangled with another person, your energy field becomes intertwined with theirs. Your vibrational frequency has to constantly adjust, constantly compromise. It's like trying to tune a radio to two different stations at once. You get static instead of clarity. Here's what's fascinating about energy conservation in solitude. Your body operates on multiple electromagnetic frequencies. When you're alone, these frequencies can align perfectly with your intentions. There's no energy leak, no need to maintain emotional bonds, no requirement to match someone else's frequency. You become what I call energetically efficient. I've seen people in our advanced workshops develop what many would call supernatural abilities when they master being alone. Their intention affects random number generators. Their consciousness influences quantum events. Why? Because their energy isn't fragmented by relationships. They're operating as a complete, coherent quantum system. Let me share something profound about manifesting reality. In quantum physics, there's a principle called coherent states. These are states where all the waves are in phase moving together. When you're truly alone, centered in your power, your thoughts and emotions can achieve this coherence. You become a stronger attractor in the quantum field. Think about the last time you tried to manifest something while in a relationship. How much of your creative energy was going toward maintaining that connection? How often did you have to adjust your dreams to accommodate someone else's? In solitude, every ounce of that energy can be directed toward your highest vision. The biology of manifestation is enhanced in solitude too. Your brain's neural networks fire more coherently. The pineal gland produces elevated levels of natural DMT. Your body's electromagnetic field becomes more organized, more powerful. You're literally becoming a stronger broadcaster in the quantum field. Here's what most people don't understand about supernatural abilities. They emerge when you achieve what quantum physicists call phase coherence in your personal energy field. This is incredibly difficult to maintain when your field is constantly entangling with someone else's through relationship bonds. When you're truly independent, something remarkable happens. Your intentions become clearer, stronger, more focused. You're not broadcasting mixed signals into the quantum field. Every cell in your body, every thought in your mind, every emotion you generate is aligned with your creative purpose. This isn't just theory, it's measurable science. People who master solitude show increased activity in the brain's manifestation centers. Their DNA responds more coherently to their intentions. Their ability to influence quantum events becomes demonstrably stronger. Your power to create reality isn't diminished by being alone. It's amplified. You're not losing anything by choosing solitude. You're gaining the full force of your creative power undiluted by emotional entanglements, uncompromised by relationship dynamics. Are you ready to become a pure, powerful creator in the quantum field? Think about this for a moment. Most people operate from emotions that are tied to survival: fear, anger, jealousy, attachment. These emotions are coded into our DNA, passed down through generations of humans who needed relationships to survive. But you're no longer living in that reality. You're ready for the next level of human evolution. When you choose to live alone, you're not just making a lifestyle choice. You're making an evolutionary leap. You're telling your body, your genes, your consciousness that you're ready to move beyond these primitive survival emotions. You're ready to operate from a new level of being. Let me tell you what happens in your biology. When you break ancestral patterns, your genes have memory, what scientists call epigenetic markers. These markers carry emotional patterns from your ancestors, patterns that say you need others to survive, to feel safe, to be whole. When you choose conscious solitude, you start rewriting these markers. You're literally changing your genetic expression. I've seen people in our workshops who've mastered being alone achieve states of consciousness that defy traditional understanding. Their brain scans show patterns similar to advanced Buddhist monks. Why? Because they're no longer operating from inherited emotional programs. They're creating new states of being, new patterns of consciousness. This is where the power of focused intention becomes supernatural. When you're not dispersing your emotional energy in relationships, when you're not carrying ancestral patterns of dependency, your intention becomes laser focused. Your thoughts aren't just thoughts anymore. They're instructions to the quantum field. Here's something profound about creating new states of being. Your body literally doesn't know the difference between an emotion you generate internally and one triggered by external circumstances. But there's a crucial difference. When you generate emotions yourself, you're not at the mercy of external conditions. You become what I call an emotional alchemist. Most people never experience elevated emotions without external triggers because they're addicted to the chemical cocktail of relationships. But when you master being alone, you learn to produce these elevated states at will. Your brain starts creating new neural networks that support these higher states of consciousness. Think about your nervous system for a moment. It's designed to respond to environmental cues, including the presence of other people. But when you master solitude, you develop what neuroscientists call self-directed neuroplasticity. You can regulate your nervous system, create elevated emotional states without any external stimulus. This is evolution in real time. You're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your biology. Every time you choose to generate joy, love, or excitement on your own, you're strengthening these new neural pathways. You're becoming a new species of human, one that's emotionally self-sufficient. The most exciting part. These elevated states become your new normal. You're no longer dropping back into survival emotions when you're alone. You're maintaining coherent, elevated states because you've built the neural architecture to support them. Let me share something about consciousness evolution that most people don't understand. Consciousness doesn't evolve through comfort. It evolves through challenge. When you choose to be alone, you're challenging every ancestral pattern, every genetic program that says you need others to feel complete. Your brain has something called metacognitive awarenesses, the ability to observe your own thoughts and emotions. When you're alone, this awareness becomes heightened. You start recognizing emotional patterns that aren't yours. They're inherited, programmed, installed by society, ancestry. And once you recognize them, you can change them. This isn't just personal development. It's species development. You're part of a growing number of humans who are choosing to evolve beyond emotional dependency. You're creating new patterns of consciousness that future generations will inherit. Evolution doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when we dare to break free from old patterns, when we choose to create new states of being. Are you ready to become the next evolution of human consciousness? Your morning sets the frequency for your entire day. When you wake up alone, you have a precious opportunity. Those first hours are pure, uncontaminated energy. You're not managing anyone else's mood, not adjusting to anyone else's rhythm. It's time to use this power. Start before the sun rises. This is when the pineal gland is most active, when your body's ready to create new neural pathways. Sit up in your bed and immediately place your attention in your heart. Feel it beating. That's your own rhythm, your own life force, not someone else's, not a relationship's, yours. Fresh and powerful energy management techniques. Place one hand on your heart, one on your belly. Breathe into these centers for 7 minutes. You're not just breathing, you're literally charging your body's electromagnetic field. This is your energy, your power source requiring no external input. Your living space isn't just a home, it's an energy incubator. Remove photos of past relationships. Clear out shared memories. Not because they're bad, but because you're creating space for new energy. Place objects that represent your independent power. Crystals, books, artwork that speaks to your soul alone. Build your emotional self-sufficiency through what I call state training. Set 3 alarms throughout your day. When they ring, stop everything and generate a feeling of joy, love, or peace without any external trigger. You're teaching your brain that you can produce these states at will. No relationship will create a power hour in the evening. This is sacred time for advanced meditation. Sit in your space and focus on the energy center in your brain. Feel the pineal gland activating. You might experience unusual sensations, light patterns, vibrations. This is normal. You're accessing higher states of consciousness that only emerge in solitude. Practice what I call emotional weightlifting. When you feel the urge for connection, sit with it. Don't reach for the phone. Don't seek distraction. Feel the discomfort and choose to transmute it into power. Every time you do this, you're building emotional strength. Your daily evolution requires consistency. Keep a journal tracking your states of consciousness. Record moments when you successfully generated elevated emotions alone. This isn't just documentation. It's programming your subconscious mind for independence. Every morning you wake up alone is an opportunity for evolution. Every evening you spend in conscious solitude is a step towards supernatural abilities. You're not just living alone, you're pioneering a new way of being human. Are you ready to make every moment a doorway to your highest potential? Everything I've shared with you today isn't just information. It's an activation code for your evolution. The neuroscience, the quantum physics, the biology of being alone, it all points to one extraordinary truth. You are designed to be sovereign, complete, and incredibly powerful on your own. Think about what you now understand. Your brain literally functions at a higher level in solitude. Your electromagnetic field becomes more coherent when it's not entangled with others. Your genes express themselves differently when you break free from relationship. Your ability to manifest reality strengthens when your energy isn't split. This isn't about being anti-relationship. It's about being pro-evolution. Every morning you wake up alone. Every evening you spend in conscious solitude. You're not just existing. You're evolving. You're becoming what humanity is meant to become. Energetically sovereign beings capable of generating their own elevated states. The future belongs to those who master their inner world. While others seek completion in relationships, you'll be operating from completion. While they're managing emotional dependencies, you'll be exploring supernatural abilities. While they're living in survival modes, you'll be creating new states of consciousness. Remember this moment. This is when you chose to step out of humanity's old programming and into your full power. This is when you decided to become something new, something extraordinary, a completely sovereign being capable of generating all the love, all the joy, all the power you need from within. You're not just choosing to be alone. You're choosing to become unlimited. Are you ready to live as the most evolved version of yourself?
I turned this off. Okay, now we're on. So that is the video, you guys, about what it is scientifically proven. So it might have some of it contradicts with the Bible, right? Like being alone and you don't need anyone. Take whatever resonates with you. Okay, this is quantum physics. This is not a Bible. This is science. But why I had you listen is because science can prove God. if you have seen my former videos, I used to watch him before I found Jesus, or Jesus found me, right? So what I'm trying to say is, it is good to know quantum physics. The New Age books help me understand the Bible and Jesus more. But the bottom line is, being alone is not bad. In fact, it is excellent. I can tell you from the Bible story, the story of Daniel. He was in the lion's den by himself, right? He was in the middle of unbelievers. So that's what independence means to me. Not needing a man, not needing anyone. Being independent is self-sufficient. You're not dependent for your emotional need, for your financial need. You're not dependent on anyone. Does that make sense, you guys? Let me open your comments. Quantum physics is almost equivalent to spirituality. Exactly. So what happened with quantum physics is that, so if you just do quantum physics, you're going to be on the what they call the 5D, right? Spiritual. But you need to balance the subjective and objective. Otherwise, you still wouldn't be fulfilled. When I was listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza, I did have a lot of understanding. Like, why am I behaving this way? I did have a lot of understanding about the Bible. But it also was making me lazy, right? Not focusing on my living, like making money, because I was into the spiritual world so much. But it is about balance. That's why Jesus was here. He was here physically, objective. We have seen all the evidences, right? And then he taught us how to live. You guys read the Bible that whenever after Jesus heals people and everything, he used to go by himself to pray, right? To gather his strength. So don't hate being alone. That's the whole idea of this video. Be independent. Be self-sufficient, both spiritually. Get close to the Lord. Be by yourself. Fast, pray, cleanse your body. If you're single, be celibate, and you'll know the difference. Okay? I know some of you, like Christians, are gonna be like, oh, meditation, oh, quantum physics, oh, blah, blah. There are some pastors that interpret the Bible wrong that I don't listen to. There are some Muslim people that I listen to their motivational videos. The main thing is being able to discern. I don't take all the information that Dr. Joe Dispenza gave me, but the science part of it, we go to school to study biology, chemistry, and physics, right? This is quantum physics, right? And then I heard some people, oh, Jesus is just enough. Why are you taking Advil when you have a headache then? Why do you take Tylenol? You could just pray and the headache would go away. I believe that, right? So especially when your intellect is getting wider, when you're studying a lot in this world, when you're advancing, in your education, your spiritual life gets narrower. Okay? So quantum physics really did help me get to the top of the mountain and find out there's nothing except for Jesus. So what I'm trying to say is you're complete as you are, whether you're a woman or a man. Okay? Empty the wine what? What is it in the Bible? The wine what? You have to empty the wine container. That means you have to forgive. That you can only do it when you spend time by yourself. And then talk to you and see what is stopping you from being joyful, from getting closer to God. Right? A lot of us are afraid to be by ourselves. We're addicted to people. I'm saying that community is amazing, it's awesome, but don't get addicted to being with people. Because you're going to copy their identity. You're not going to have your own. But God made you unique. Okay? So learn to be by yourself. That's the thing. Okay. What hell you wearing? Whatever I want. Whatever I want. Whatever I want, I wear. I love you. Okay. Okay. And then, yeah, so the balance is Jesus. Subjective and objective, right? So quantum physics would be telling you about spirituality. But without Jesus, there is no balance. And to live in this world, you need to be able to balance it. As innocent as a dove and wise as serpent, right? So the real flex here is I can be by myself. I am independent. I want you, but I don't need you. The real flex is healing from your childhood wounds. The real flex is forgiving the people who watch you getting hurt or who hurt you and saying, forgive them for they do not know what they do. The real flex is resurrection, freedom from whatever is weighing you down. And you get that by spending time on your own. Either if you are married, have kids, you can schedule a time in the morning, like Dr. Joe Dispenza say, the morning is the better for prayer, right? What is important to you? So being alone, being independent is not a Western feminist civilization. It is human right. Okay. That is it for today. Really? Vita, this new age or scientific religion thing make a lot of sense to me. You know why? You're probably highly educated. That's why. The more educated you are, the more the Bible doesn't make sense to you until you die and see Jesus and come back like me. I died, I saw Jesus, I came back. I went to the top of the mountain and find out there is nothing. I was in quantum physics, new age, the neuroplasticity thingy. I was searching. But did they help me? Oh, yeah. It'll help you understand because it's coming from the other door, from the scientific, from the proof, right? So my suggestion is to keep searching, keep being by yourself, give yourself time, be independent, whether you're a man or a woman. Okay? Doesn't mean that you don't need, you don't want to be married, you don't have desires. You do have a desire. We do have our animal side as well. But it shouldn't be the leader. Love should be the leader. If you forgive, start flying, start opening your heart again. You give without expectation. You don't trust humans but God. You give without expecting here. Right? And also you have boundary. Okay? So the main thing is balance, the objective and subjective. All right. This is what happened when you read too much. Thanks for the compliment. Thanks for the compliment. Reading too much is really good. You know, Paul, remember Paul? They will tell him the same thing, you read too much. And I saw the light as Paul did. So that is the best compliment that you have given me. I love you. They told him he was crazy. Remember? So yeah, read. No. Read. Okay? And like back in the days, I used to read a bunch of books. Now, I only read the Bible. I don't have appetite for anything else. I want to know the Bible more and more and more and more. And I don't want to come here and preach about the scriptures to you guys because I want you to read them. Right? I'm just going to give you my testimony, where I was, how I was. And that is my job. Going, like, I want to walk. I think I'm walking through the narrow road, but I can't take you there. I'm going to show you. This is how I went there. This is how I'm walking. Right? But yeah, so 3 things. Be alone, be celibate if you're single. So you cleanse your body. Eat good. Food has a significant benefit to your brain as well. Okay? And watch what benefits your life, not gossip. Okay? Read. Just watch what you watch. And then read and spend time with you. Okay? And you'll be unstoppable with God. You can't do it alone. Doesn't matter what anybody says. You cannot. I tried and failed miserably. Okay? Jesus is Lord forever. I love you guys. Yes, exactly. Yes. So I'm live on YouTube, you guys. I was gonna come, my TikTok family, my new TikTok family, but you have to come to YouTube. It's not gonna be, I can't really put it together, but I will try again. But I do have a meeting right now. Not right now. So I have to finish washing the dishes. I have a meeting. I have to go for a walk. Then I got a movie to watch before I go to bed, before 9:30. Okay? Stay away from your phone. 1 hour before you go to bed. 1 hour after you wake up. Do not touch your phone. I know it's hard. It took me some time to get used to it. But you can do it. Okay? I want all the best for you. And I love you. And remember, no one is above you and no one is below you. Mwah. Bye-bye. I love you, Lord, and your mercy never leave me all my days.